Hello everyone and welcome to Whisky Wednesday. This week we're chatting about the second release from the Glenmorangie Astar range. Now this was first released I believe in 2008 as a cask strength non-chill filtered whisky. They've re-released it again in 2017. All bourbon cask, non-chill filtered. I don't believe it's cask strength but it is 52.5%, so it's somewhat stronger than your normal Glenmorangie would be. A little bit of backstory, they have hand-selected casks that are grown in the Ozark mountains in Missouri. It's a very slow-growing type of wood. These have been seasoned with bourbon for 4 years, emptied and then transferred to Tain in Scotland to the Glenmorangie distillery and filled with their spirit. So it's a very literal, handcrafted, if you ignore the pun, attempt at the most perfect cask selection they can get hold of. So yeah, they re-released it. It's a limited run. I bought this maybe a week or so ago, and we'll smell it, we'll taste it, we'll tell you about it. So let's have a little smell. It smells a bit like a bakery. There's loads of really big fresh bourbon flavours as you'd imagine. It's kind of like vanilla sponge and buttercream, chantilly cream, fudge and butterscotch. A little bit of fruit, not loads. I think more kind of mango and pineapple, those really creamy textured fruits. I think as a rule of thumb, the word to use for this whiskey is just creamy. So yeah, loads of vanilla, loads of caramel. It's very dessert orientated. Just kind of think about it like that. It'd be perfect to pair with a dessert if you're into that kind of thing. You don't get too much alcohol on the nose, even though it's 52.5. It is quite welcoming, it is quite approachable. Obviously Glenmorangie's got quite a light spirit, so it's not going to be too offensive to your nose. You get a little bit of the alcohol if you really, really take a deep breath in. But other than that, sweet, creamy, very delicate, very elegant. Let's have a taste. You kind of get somewhat of a 50-50 battle with the creaminess and the alcohol. Up front, you still get all that vanilla. You get all that kind of Madeira sponge, Madeira cake flavour. It's very thick, it's very textural. But towards the back, you do start to get bitter oak, a lot of wood char, like apple skins and all that kind of stuff. Slightly bitter flavours, bitter sweet flavours all around. And again, more kind of creamy malted barley. Let's have another go. Even with those bitter flavours, it's not unpleasant. It's got a welcoming bitterness. When you've got a nose that is that sweet, you want something to counterbalance it. And it does work pretty well. It's slightly metallic. That's probably one of the only off notes I'd have for it. But that is what you associate with those kind of bittersweet, slightly coppery sort of flavours. Fun fact for you, Astar is Gaelic for the word journey. Fact of the day there from Whisky Wednesday. So yeah, really creamy, really rich dessert trolley smell. Arrival is pretty clean, more sweetness, but then develops into this bigger, spicier, bolder, slightly metallic style towards the end. Not unpleasant, just a little bit different from what you expect in the nose. I'd imagine this is probably anywhere between sort of 10 to 15 years old, maybe a tiny bit older. Isn't cask strength, just bottled at a slightly higher ABV than normal. All in all though, I do enjoy it, I do like it. It's up there with the Bacalta in terms of fun releases this year from Glenmorangie, and I would give that a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's nice, it's well balanced, and the little bit of heat at the end, that kind of unusual flavour is something that's nice to counteract the amount of sweetness you get from those really, really intense bourbon barrels. So yeah, there you go. Glenmorangie Astar, solid 8 out of 10. I'm Phil, this is The Whisky Jar, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you next week.